Arsenal are preparing for something that is very, very difficult. And luckily for us, we don't have to wait a long time until we find out what the outcome will be. I am so excited for a couple of different reasons, but there's one reason in particular that I definitely want to get people's opinions on. Before we get into it though, I just want to ask one very quick favour. Just hit like on this video. So before we get into the meat and potatoes of this video, I just want to ask what people's score predictions are for tomorrow's game in the Champions League against Sporting. We do this for every game. And to the people who are able to get this right, in the breakdown video after the game, I will flash up and show people who was able to get the correct scoreline. So first of all, just let me know what your score prediction is for the Arsenal versus Sporting game. Look, I am so excited for this game, not just because it's the Champions League, but you know, we're playing against a player that so many of us want to sign. It's the Victor Gyokeres effect, isn't it? But like, it's the Champions League, which is a competition that many people are out there saying this is Arsenal's best chance to win major silverware. So if we're to do well in this competition, we need to start. And to be fair, we have been doing okay in this competition so far. Like, what have we done? We've got 1 loss, 1 draw, and 2 wins. So this is a game I'm looking at and probably saying, if you really want to step on it, this is a game you would look at and say, this is a chance to make a statement. And some people might look at that and say, make a statement against Sporting. What are you talking about? But to you, I would just say, look how good Sporting are at the minute. Just look in their league. 11 games, 11 wins. And their goal ratio is incredible. Look, they've scored 39 goals and they've only conceded 5. This is a team who is amongst the very top teams in Europe in terms of form. And a lot to do with that is, of course, like I said, Victor Gyokeres, a player so many of us have been speaking about for such a long time. Like last season, how many times did we have the conversation, I want a Gyokeres, I want to sign Victor Gyokeres. So many of you guys I know are excited, and now we get to see this player in person. And to be fair, like, the argument some people could push about Sporting is, well, it's only the Portuguese league. But to that, again, I would just say, remember Arsenal played a Portuguese team in the Champions League last season, and it wasn't quite as easy as we would imagined. And this team is better than that team. Like I said, look at their league form. But if you want to translate that to Champions League, they've also been doing very, very well. Arsenal sit 12th in the Champions League table standings, and Sporting are second, only behind Liverpool, who have a perfect record. And like, their goal record is just so impressive because they have that Victor Gyokeres. In the league in Portugal, he's the top scorer. In the Champions League, in the group stages, whatever it is, the league table, like, he's the joint top scorer amongst Lewandowski, Harry Kane. So this guy is an absolute killer. Because he played at Coventry and then he moved over to Portugal, many people were saying he wouldn't be able to do it at the very top level. It's only Portugal. He's just ripping it up in Portugal. But this is suggesting that this is a player where the talent can carry over into those top levels of football. And we've seen it. Like, what did he do against Man City in the last game? Like, they haven't even necessarily had in the Champions League to get that record, 1-3 drawn 1, just easy games. They've had Lille, they've had PSV, which are games that maybe you would expect them to win. But he also battered Man City 4-1. And people might say Man City's losing to everyone at the minute, but it's still a good team with good players. And Victor Gyokeres absolutely ripped them up. So I'm excited to see not just Victor Gyokeres play, but our defence in how we approach that situation. Because so many of us believe, and probably rightly, that Arsenal are one of the best defensive teams in the league. Maybe we've struggled at points this season, but Arsenal's strength in defence is quite obvious to everyone who understands football. We have a very strong defence, and I want to see our defence go up against the best players in the world. So I'm excited to see how the defence approaches this game against Victor Gyokeres. Will he be able to carry on that form against Arsenal? Of course, I hope not. I think this is a game Arsenal should be looking to win. It's away from home. It enables us to make a statement. It enables us to carry on this momentum it would seem we now are trying to gather after the Nottingham Forest game. It was a brilliant win, 3-0. And that would lead you into personnel to actually ask the questions in how you stop this team. Like I said, they're not only good going forward, but defensively in the league conceded 5 goals. So we can expect them to be very resolute in defending, very strong, very solid. And that's where we have some questions. I want to ask you guys, in terms of personnel, what do you do with Rice, Martinelli and Havertz. Honestly, let me know. Do you bring these guys back in for this game? Do you bring 1, 2 or 3 of them? Honestly, let me know in the comment section because I think there is some conversations had. Declan Rice, for me, is probably the player I look at and say, look, in terms of quality, it's undeniable. Declan Rice is fantastic, but I like what I saw from Mikel Merino in the last game. So to me, I give Merino the nod in that number 8 position. And then it's just a question of whether you want to play Rice or Partey or Jorginho in that number 6. For me, I go with Thomas Partey. Jorginho done well against Nottingham Forest, but away from home, Champions League, I want that solidity that Thomas Partey offers. We saw him in the last game when he come on. Not only was he good defensively, but he was able to score that goal, so that will only improve his momentum at the minute, his confidence. So for me, it's Thomas Partey, Merino and Odegaard midfield. And for me, that is such a strong midfield. And I'll tell you why it's important to have that midfield with Merino in number 8. Because we saw in the last game, since Calafiori's come back, like it just works on that left-hand side, doesn't it? You know how you have Odegaard and Saka on that right-hand side, and it just works. Like there's a chemistry, an understanding. I would like to see that relationship blossom on that left-hand side, where you have Calafiori on the left back and Merino in that 8 position, because that will aid in whoever plays that left wing role, whether it be Trossard or Martinelli. Controversially, for me, I probably stick Gabriel Martinelli back in that left wing position, because I do think with that balance that Calafiori and Merino have, I still think on form, when everyone's 100%, Martinelli is Arsenal's best left winger. So I want to give him every opportunity to show that. And I think having that balance on that left-hand side with Merino and Calafiori will improve the output of Martinelli. So that's something that I would go for. Let me know if you guys agree. And then it's a question of, do you keep Jesus up top or do you go with Kai Havertz? Look, for me, again, it's simple. I just bring Kai Havertz back into this game. Gabriel Jesus is good. He will be a good option to have going forward. I would definitely bring him off the bench. But for me, like Kai Havertz at the moment is Arsenal's best number 9. Some people would say we need that killer number 9 in terms of a Gyokeres or an Isak or an Osimhen. I understand, but for now it's Havertz, and he's clearly the main guy in terms of output and numbers. So for me, I play Havertz up top. So I'll give you my team selection. I want to hear yours in the comment section. I go David Raya in goal. I think you obviously have to stick Timber at right back, Saliba, Gabriel, Calafiori, Thomas Partey, Merino, Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli and Havertz. I think that is a very well-balanced team, more than capable of going to Portugal and putting on a very good performance. I don't imagine this would be a crazy high-scoring game, due to the fact that Arsenal have a strong defence, Sporting have a strong defence. Arsenal have a good attack, Sporting have a good attack. So there's going to be moments where Sporting are getting on top. There's going to be moments where it seems like Arsenal are the stronger team. And it's going to be a game where whoever takes their chances is probably going to win the game. Chances may be few and far between. And that's why, for me, again, I put Havertz up top. Because although at times he can miss chances as well, I think he's slightly more clinical than Gabriel Jesus. Saka, if he can continue his form. Odegaard, if he can continue what he's been doing, that relationship he has with Saka, where he's just, they almost read each other's mind, and it's just cosmic the way they can just understand what each other's going to do. The Merino and Calafiori link up on the left-hand side with Martinelli causing them runs, pinning them back because they know that he has pace, so they can't sit too high up. I just think in terms of balance, that is the best team that Arsenal can put out. But again, let me know your opinions. What is your team selection? What are your thoughts on this Arsenal versus Sporting game? Let me know in the comment section. Thanks so much to everyone for watching and listening. Before you go, if you could do me the favour, very quickly hit like and subscribe, and I'll speak to you all in tomorrow's video. Gooners, have a good day.